Yo, what is up guys, this is Tyranic1 here and welcome to another random video of sorts, much like the hype video, except this time the topic is going to be a little bit more different. Now today's topic is going to be a little bit of a touchy subject due to the fact that it's going to be about fan bases. And fan bases are basically a group of people who have come together to create a sort of following for a certain person, subject, or pretty much anything in general. Much like the hype video, this has been on my mind for the past few years now, as I have seen certain fan bases change dramatically, and sometimes it's for the better and sometimes, or most of the time, it is for the worst. So pretty much the video today is just kind of my own opinion about some fan bases. The ones I'm going to be talking about ain't going to be the only ones, but these are going to be the main examples of what I am about to discuss today about the way fan bases are like. Now, fan bases aren't really a bad thing at all. There is just a major splitting within the group. You have your good side of it, you have your bad side of it, and then you have your ugly side of it. And pretty much there's this sort of thing is pretty much everywhere in fan bases. And to kick off, my first example is in the realm of gaming. Now yes, the gaming fanbase itself could be talked about, which I might do in a minute, but this is a fanbase that has been going for almost 10 years now, and it's pretty much gotten, well, near enough everywhere in the world, and that is Minecraft. Now, Minecraft as a game itself is very well done, to be honest. The fact that you have this enormous open world to do whatever you want in, well, if you're in a survival mode, you can just create a settlement, just go mining, find resources, go to the nether, do a whole bunch of things. Minecraft has a huge amount of opportunities within it. But the fan base is quite split, to be honest. You have your one side where you have your creative, imaginative people who create amazing buildings and structures that are based off other things have just been remade in Minecraft. Hell, earlier this year someone recreated the entire city of Novigrad from Witcher 3 in Minecraft, and to be honest, the amount of time and effort it must have taken to build something like that is definitely respectable and admirable, especially with what the final product looked like. This is the side of the Minecraft fanbase that I entirely respect, since they always create such amazing, wonderful things. However, the side that lets the Minecraft community down is pretty much its younger audience, and their vulgar nature isn't great, as we've seen in plenty of compilation videos of Minecraft where you see kids getting trolled all over the place and their reactions aren't really great.
Блять, хорошо, что сундуки вот эти остались наверху, заебись вообще. Да ты чё?
Yeah, that's pretty much one of my downsides to the Minecraft community. And one last thing about the community is the fact that the big influence that Minecraft has had on the whole YouTuber area. Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing, as plenty of YouTubers have actually come out as pretty damn well from the popularity they have gained, like for example the Yogcast, Captain Sparkles, Stampy Longhead, the Diamond Minecart. There is plenty of examples of YouTubers who have actually come out relatively well from beginning in Minecraft, but the fact is now it's become really oversaturated. There is so many videos of Minecraft on YouTube now that it's sort of gotten too much. But the Minecraft community isn't all bad. Like I said, there's good, there's bad, and there's the ugly parts of communities. And Minecraft, it's sort of decent in some cases right now, especially since popularity terms for it have gone a bit down, but that hasn't really affected many things for the community as of late. One gaming community that definitely has suffered a lot more than Minecraft in the recent years has definitely got to be the Five Nights at Freddy's community. And it's kind of surprising to think that this game series has been going for over 4 years now, and the fact that we pretty much had a game or two like every year. And yeah, the community for the FNAF franchise, this one is a little bit more in the dark, really. And just like Minecraft, Five Nights at Freddy's is another one of those games that has sort of helped certain YouTubers, or a lot of YouTubers, gain an ounce of popularity, especially with what it was doing at the time. There is plenty of good examples here. A lot of the scare game YouTubers, pretty much like Markiplier, I would say he was popular before Five Nights at Freddy's, but Five Nights at Freddy's definitely did give him a big push, probably along with Jacksepticeye as well. But there are some other YouTubers who were completely being created just by FNAF videos, and a good example would be the 8-Bit Gaming channel, who basically made a load of lore videos and everything. Although when it comes to YouTuber popularity, FNAF is definitely not the first. When it comes to horror games, I think Slender and Amnesia are definitely the precursors of this sort of popularity, as most of the veteran gamer YouTubers definitely gained their popularity from these games. Like Markiplier, PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye definitely gained their popularity from these sort of games. That is kind of an interesting thing about the FNAF community, is the fact that they've managed to find a huge amount of interesting lore to the game and the amount of Easter eggs that have been put in by the creator. This is a rather interesting and amazing part of the community, is the amount of stuff that they've been able to do and find within the game and the story it has created. And there is also the animations that have come out of this. People have, over time, created animations of the FNAF series and have created, like, personalities within the animatronic menace. And honestly, I think these animations, well, not all of them, but some are pretty cool and interesting to see, and actually have created their own interesting stories. The thing that sort of ruins the FNAF community is the fact that the amount of games that have come out really saturated, like, the quality of the games. It's like you'd be getting a new game every few months or so, and it kind of got tiring a little. And the fact that the way people personify these characters sometimes, especially with the whole Rule 34 thing, which is terrifying to see, that sort of part of the community is pretty messed up and really does not help the FNAF community's name in any way. But one game in particular has definitely had a very abusive relationship with its own community, and that has to be the Call of Duty franchise. Of course I was going to mention this one. Call of Duty has been a game that has gone from being something brilliant and had a great community to something that's gone to complete and total shit, and that has also brought down the community also. I mean, there was always the fact that there was annoying gas players and hackers and shit like that, as well as campers, but those are always something funny to see within the COD community. Nowadays, it's just complete and total shit. The fact that there are still people spending money just so for these awful games now, and I'd be absolutely shocked and surprised to see if Black Ops 4 makes a profit, because I will have just lost complete and utter faith in the gaming community if I haven't already. The COD community has just gone downhill along with the franchise. It's just surprising. It's just horrifying to see. And this is another one of those where YouTubers also gain certain fame, but the fact is, a lot of these YouTubers, unlike FNAF and Minecraft, have disappeared. They've sort of gotten lost in the whole YouTube community, and we just don't really give too much of a care about them anymore. I mean, I don't really give too much shits about Ali A anymore, and honestly, he probably is desperate for views at this point in time, but considering how Call of Duty is doing these days. But yeah, Call of Duty is one of those communities that's just gone complete and utter shit. It was something that was fun to look at and be part of at times, but now it's just something that's just sad and it's just dying and just trying to crawl across the floor as best as it can, hoping to carry on. Now, the gaming community is not the only ones to be guilty of. The film area has its own kind of problems, and yes, just like in my hype video, I'm going to be pointing my fingers at Star Wars. But Star Wars is just another great example. We have seen how this fanbase has changed over the last 40 odd years since it has been around. It is something that was just completely amazing when the original trilogy came out, and then after it finished, you had the amount of comics and games and stuff that just came out of it, which obviously built up the fanbase into something amazing. Then the prequel trilogy came out, and we all knew how that went, and it was only just the beginning of the degeneration that the fanbase has become the way it is today. Although it splitted up the fanbase immensely, with the original part of the crew who liked the original trilogy, and then you had the prequel lovers, and then you had the people who were in between who sort of liked both but could see the flaws of each side. Then after years later, we finally get a new trilogy being made, and yeah, there's no saving the Star Wars fanbase at this point with the way The Last Jedi turned out. We obviously thought The Force Awakens, and even after Rogue One, we thought Star Wars was being saved a little, considering how those films were actually pretty good. Then The Last Jedi came in, and then shit just went to hell. At this point, I mean, Disney really needs to either save themselves or just stop completely or just get rid of Kathleen Kennedy and Rian Johnson. But yeah, the fanbase has just gone to hell after The Last Jedi, and Solo hasn't helped either. Though then again, nobody really asked for a Solo movie. That's not really the fanbase's fault, that's more or less just Disney just trying to get a quick buck. But yeah, and I mean, it doesn't really help when Star Wars fans have also had their feud with the Star Trek fanbase as well. The whole war about them just going at it with each other, thinking who is better. It's a war that's just as pointless as the console war, the sub versus dub war in the anime community. It's just one of those wars that you just don't give any shits about and have no reason for being a part of. In fact, there's no point in it even existing. But yeah, the Star Wars community is definitely one of those that's had the biggest change of its life. I mean, 40 years, we all knew, well, we should have known that the fan base wouldn't have been great forever. I mean, 40 years is a long time for a franchise to exist. I mean, the fan base has gotten so out of control lately that they're even getting to the point of attacking the actors who have played the characters in the films. And The Last Jedi is a great example of that, because apparently people have been attacking the actress who played Rose in Star Wars The Last Jedi, and she deleted her Instagram like a month or so ago. And to be honest, Rose wasn't exactly a great character, but she wasn't a bad character either. And I mean, you shouldn't really be attacking the actress or actor who played the character. I mean, you should really be blaming the writer, who is the one who created and did the characters in the first place. So really, everyone should be freaking shouting their heads off at Rian Johnson for not doing a great job when it comes to doing the way the script goes and the character development. But the fact, it's incredibly sad to see this fanbase just to turn out the way it is now. I mean, I'm a part of this fan base and I really like Star Wars, but it's just sad to see just how devolved it's gotten. It's gone down a hole, and I have no idea if it will ever come out of that hole at all, to be honest. And then we come to my final example, which is, well, anime in general. Yes, this to me is probably one of the most diverse communities ever. There is so much good, bad, ugly, weird shit in this community that I don't think there will ever be a community just like this. I mean, Rick and Morty has its moments, but that's a bit weird, is that one. But anime is just hugely diverse. You have you can be called freaking anything. There is no matter what you do in the anime community, there is always a term that is there for you to be described as. You have your weebs, you have your otakus, you have your freaking waifu trash guys, you have your freaking husbando trash people, you have all these sort of stuff in there. The anime community is just so big, it's become something so huge now that there's just no stopping its rise to power at this point. Hell, I won't be surprised if the anime community ends up becoming the most powerful thing in the human race. Or probably the weakest thing, since it's not exactly going well with certain things. But yeah, the anime community is giant. It's weird, great, but then you just have those people who just get a bit too touchy on some things, like the whole who's the best waifu, who's the best husband, or this anime sucks over this anime. Yeah, the anime community just has so much stuff going on that you don't really know where to position it. You don't really know whether it's a good thing, you don't know whether it's a bad thing. You can definitely say it's a weird thing in some cases because of the things people do within it. But anime to me, I mean, it's a fun thing to watch and everything, but the community in general and the fan base is so diverse and weird that you just can't really get your head around it. And that's what kind of amazes me about it. It's a fan base that has its place in the world, but it has no idea what it wants to be. Another thing that makes the anime community really amazing, and this isn't really the only community, games, film, and TV are also parts of this specific thing, but anime is one of those that definitely kicked it off in a way, and that is the cosplay part of it. Now, not everyone is good at cosplaying. I mean, we have seen bad examples of this and some examples that take it a bit too far, but there is a lot of other examples that do an amazing job at it, and these people definitely deserve the credit they should get because they make some great recreations of the characters they're going for. And that's just another part of the community that I like, is the fact that people do try their best to bring the characters they love and like to reality. So yeah, to close this video off, fan bases aren't just necessarily one thing to be described as. They're not always good, they're not always bad, they're not always weird or ugly, but they are pretty much a combination of all of these things. And yes, some fan bases haven't done as well as others, and some fan bases have just devolved into trash over time, but everyone has their different opinions on fan bases, and this is just a little bit of mine on certain examples. I mean, there is probably thousands of examples I could have chosen, but I chose these because these are definitely ones that have stuck out in my mind for a good amount of years, and yeah, we can kind of see where they've all come. So, I hope you guys have enjoyed this little video. Hope you haven't got a little too triggered from it, if that's even happened, but yeah, leave a like, subscribe, comment on what you think of the whole thing about fan bases and all that. Share this video on social media, and I shall see you guys on the next random video.